Hello everyone, I want to talk to you about the principle of pressure and wedges. In jiu-jitsu and you're grappling with someone, we try to find ways to pin people down, hold them down, or maybe we're being held down. So I want to talk to you about these two principles on pressure and wedges. So sir, if I could have you down. I'm going to start in the side control position. All right, this is a very common position in the beginning. Is whenever someone is to the side and basically their chest is on your chest, all right? So both principles have their pros and cons, right? In the beginning, especially for a stronger, larger opponent, then pressure is relied on very heavily in the beginning, all right? So I'm gonna talk to you about pressure. Pressure is like whenever I am putting my force on a certain area of his body, right? Area and force equals pressure. So whenever we're holding down someone and I'm just using pressure, all right? I'm not gonna use the principle of wedges, I'm just gonna use pressure. So I get to my toes, I put my chest on his chest, and I'm just using pressure. To demonstrate this a little bit better, I'm gonna have Master George, he's gonna put me in his guard and I'm just gonna use pressure. So I'm actually gonna put my hands here and I'm not gonna use my arms at all, and I'm just using pressure. And as you see, very easily for him to just bump and create space and get out. And if we're just using pressure, that's what you'll find. But if we use pressure and wedges, then it supercharges the amount of force and the amount of control we have on our opponent. All right. So now I'm going to show you a technique where it's just wedges, no pressure at all. I'm not going to put any pressure on his body, but I'm just going to use wedges. I'm going to put my knee against his hip. I'm going to put my other knee into his armpit. I'm going to put my hand by his hip, and then I'm going to put my other hand right by his neck. And I'm going to keep the distance between my knees and my hands close. So I'm not going to just stand out here like this, but I'm going to be fairly close. So just using wedges as he tries to escape and put me in guard, same type of technique, it's very difficult, okay? And I'm not using hardly any strength, and I can breathe, and I'm not really pressuring him, but he can't move, right? And what do you want to do? Are you wanting to pin them down where they can't move? Or are you just wanting to put pressure where it interrupts their breathing, right? And they can escape out. So now, if we combine these two principles of pressure and wedges, then we can really supercharge our control. So instead of just putting chest to chest, putting a good amount of force over a large area, we want to try to find a smaller area, put the same amount of force, right? Because whenever if you want to create more pressure, you either up the force that you're putting in, and as far as my body weight and what I can do, well, I can only create so much force. Or I can lower the area that I'm pressuring or putting force on, and that creates more pressure, right? So what I want to do is I want to try to find, there's a sweet spot in everybody, it's at the side, right? And it's about a 45-degree angle, and it focuses more like on the floating rib area. So look, if I just push down here like this, he doesn't move. But if I push right here on the side, he feels it and he starts to move. So I really want to pressure my chest cavity on his floating rib, okay? So I get here like this and I can lean into him, okay? Now I can use a wedge at his hip, and I can use another wedge at his head. Or if I want to use a cross collar, I can come underneath, but it creates a wedge against the neck. So now, go ahead and put me in guard. It's infinitely harder for him to do that whenever I add wedges into my pressure. So hopefully those two principles really help you understand in the beginning pressure and wedges, and whenever we combine the two of those, then we can really supercharge our control and maximize the pressure and the force that we have to put on them.